Stay tuned. Up next, the How to Use Your Life show with Joe Fermano. Be inspired.
Good evening and welcome back, folks, to America's most positive program, the How to Use Your Life show. I'm your host, Joe Fermano. Tonight, this day, how I got silent to be grateful, my latest video blog, and how our feature and how to fail your way to success. I'm a real pro at that. Are you healthy? Well, here are 5 foods tonight we'll talk about that you should never eat. And my man Matthew and his perseverance. It's not what you think it is. Straight ahead, the How to Use Your Life show.
Now nothing's impossible, I have found, for when my chin is on the ground, I pick myself up, dust myself off, and start all over again.
Good evening, folks. Welcome back. You are tuned to the How to Use Your Life show every Tuesday evening, 7 p.m., WNJC1360am, and www.WNJC1360.com. We call it the How to Use Your Life show because I, like you, maybe even more than you, need all the help I can get getting filled up each day with some positive, heartfelt, inspiring, motivational information. And that's why it's the most positive program in America, because my job for you, or my commitment to you, other than, hey, the Daily Dose, where you go to my website, joefermano.com, and you sign up for the quote, or you get the quote of the day, and then the video blog once a week, typically on Tuesdays. But my commitment to you, years ago, 20 years ago, I read someplace where it's, what are you doing each day to touch people? And it was that daily quote. And then from that developed the radio show. And then from that developed the website. Then from that developed the speaking. And then from that, now you've got the book coming out, hopefully within the next 90 days or so. And then a CD, my products. And you can't stop me. But the point is what am I doing each day to create that service circle? Reaching out, helping people. And this is my way of doing it through the Daily Dose. So you want to sign up for that, get on the quotes. But all this information that I grab, like tonight, I'm all over the place. I'm going to talk about the 5 foods you should never eat. I'm going to talk about Matthew and perseverance. I'm going to talk about how to fail your way to success. So again, hopefully something in there, one way, shape, or form, sticks and makes sense to you. And then you can turn around, and for those who aren't listening live right now, you can just go to my website, joefermano.com, or on Facebook, because I will post it most likely by today or tomorrow, this rebroadcast of the show. Well, my latest video blog, this day, I did something I might have done something like this a long time ago, but for those of you who remember the group, the band, Michael Hutchings, I think he passed away, or I don't know what happened to him, but the band In Excess, they did a video. I don't know why this came to me, but remember they did a video where he's standing there and he's got like these cards or placards and he's got words on them. He doesn't speak and he's just one after another. I kind of did that in a nice setting the other day. And what I did was I talked about, hey, here it is, almost the end of the day. And did I really enjoy and did I really appreciate this day? I got so many things thrown at me, and, was I really cherishing every moment of it? And before you know, it's gone. It's gone. And what I've learned as I get older is when I can find time, make time with myself to get in a place where I can have a little bit of silence it's when I'm really my most productive. Sometimes just thinking about nothing, which isn't too difficult for me, but just thinking about nothing and solutions come to me. But it's in that period where I'm at peace with myself, and I'm grateful for my family and my friends and my coworkers and the ideas that had come to me. So the video was about that, about, hey, folks, get silent. Find that space. I was telling some friends of ours that were over this weekend about how Albert Einstein talked about, and it's almost, people will say transcendental meditation, but he said that he wrote in his notebooks that every day, mostly in the evening, he would find that 15, 20 minutes of total silence. Now, back in his day, he had a lot less electronics than we have today. I didn't think he was being texted or, Twittered or tweeted or whatever the heck you want to call it, and Google it. Anyway, you get the point. But he would find time for silence. And in that silence is where things came to him, ideas, and the appreciation for where he is. So, go to my website, joefermano.com, and just go in the video blog, or just go to YouTube, put in there Joe Fermano, and you will click right over to my latest video blog. Okay, let's jump right into it. How to fail your way to success. Now, this segment, brought to you by me, Joe Fermano, the How to Use Your Life show, may not be what you think, but it's so simple, it's so profound, it's so repetitive that I want to repeat it to you again, because so many folks today, when I sent out my blast email, for those of you who sign up on the Daily Dose, you receive, what I'm going to present for this evening. And many said, oh, that's great, I need that, I can't wait to hear that. And I position it that way because really that the answer is in the statement. The answer is in the title, How to Fail Your Way to Success. And it's really a matter of doing it over and over and over again. And the sad truth is there are so many success stories within ourselves, within the people in your family or your friends in your community and the people that you know, that it's not that they're forgotten, but people don't know about it because they're not in the mainstream. So fortunately or unfortunately, it depends on how you look at it, it's those real big, in the media, in the public eye, success type stories that we remember. So I'm going to share with you now some people that failed, and I'm only going to give you a little snapshot, a little snippet, if you will, of these folks and what they went through. For example, Winston Churchill failed the 6th grade. He was defeated in every public office role that he ran for. Okay. Then he became prime minister at the age of 62. Okay. Thomas Edison's teachers told him, quote unquote, you're too stupid. You're too stupid to learn anything. Edison also famously invented 1,000 light bulbs before creating one that worked. Okay, so this is what I'm going to kind of do here. So we're going to move right along. Harlan David Sanders, right? The famous KFC colonel, couldn't sell his chicken. What a great story that was. He went to more than 1,000 restaurants, actually, to be exact, 1,009, and they rejected him. But the one that did, today you've got KFC restaurants where? All over the world. He went to 1,009 restaurants before someone said yes. Macy failed 5-6 times, went bankrupt a couple of times. His stores, they called him a dud. And then finally, he developed a little to turn into a big department store. Turned out to be the largest department store in Manhattan in the world. Steven Spielberg, who incidentally lived for a little while in Haddonfield, New Jersey, was rejected from his dream school, the University of Southern California, 3 times. 3 times. He sought out an education somewhere else and dropped out to be a director. And boy, what a director he became, right? Now, Soichiro, I think I butchered that, but Honda, was passed over for an engineering job at Toyota and left unemployed. But he began making what? Motorcycles instead, because it was after the war and gasoline was in such a shortage, so he made motorcycles and ends up becoming a billionaire. Again, think about that now. Honda, he was passed over for an engineer that said you didn't have the smarts for it. Are there any Honda cars out there today? How about Vera Wang? Listen to this. I didn't know this. She failed to make the U.S. Olympic figure skating team. I didn't know she was that great of a skater. Who knew? Then she became an editor at Vogue and was passed over for the editor-in-chief position. Then she began designing wedding gowns, just wedding gowns, at the age of 40. And today is the premier designer in the business with a multi-billion-dollar industry. Walt Disney, Karen, how was Disney World? Did you have a good time? What did the kids like the most? Is there any one particular ride?
You know, we were one of the lucky families to get picked to go through part of the new Fantasyland that they're building. So we were one of the first families to ride the new Under the Sea Ariel ride. Oh my
gosh!
So yeah, there was only like 100 people.
So this is like the newest thing. So it's the newest technology.
Yeah, they were just pulling people from the park, and we happened to be in the right place at the right time.
Wow.
And a cast member came up to us and said, "Hey, would you guys like to go try out the new?" We want everybody's opinion on the new ride. And we said, which ride? And they said, Under the Sea, Ariel. It was amazing.
Wow.
Amazing. It was really long, too. You sit in a seashell.
Okay.
And you go through, and everything's animated.
You sit in the seashell. Yeah. Oh, my God.
You know, Ariel sings, and all the little animals dance and everything. It was really
That's
quite an
great.
experience.
Well, we missed you here.
We were very lucky. Yeah, we were very lucky.
I know. I could tell all your Facebook posts. And I got to tell you, I go back when we took our kids a couple of years ago. The one ride that I still love, and I think a lot of people our age do, is It's a Small World. How do you not love that?
I know.
See, I'm getting chills just thinking about it. And can you imagine, folks, thanks you, Karen, can you imagine Walt Disney was fired by a newspaper editor because, quote unquote, he lacked imagination and had no good ideas. And don't they call them now Imagineers or something? That's what they call them, the Imagineers who think up this stuff. Amazing. Albert Einstein, my favorite, didn't speak until age 4 and didn't read until age 7. His teachers labeled him slow and mentally handicapped. But Einstein just had a different way of thinking. He later won a Nobel Peace Prize. Here's a few more for you. The first time Jerry Seinfeld, remember Jerry? Who could not remember Jerry? Went on stage, he was booed away by the crowd. He was booed. Got kicked off. No, you don't have it. Fred Astaire went on to be the most famous dancer of all time and won the hearts of American women forever. But in his first year of tryouts, they said, can't dance, bald. No, can dance slightly, can't act, bald, forget about it. Amazing. Actor Sidney Poitier. Hope I pronounced that right, but you know who I know. Sidney Poitier. Poitier. Sidney, you know Sidney. His first audition, the casting director instructed him to just stop wasting everyone's time and go become a dishwasher or something. Can you imagine that? And he went on to win an Academy Award and just admired from actors all over and his peers. After his first film, Harrison Ford underwhelmed the producer and was told he would probably never succeed. Ford is the third highest grossing actor of all time. Vincent van Gogh, Starry, Starry Night, only sold one painting in his entire life to a friend. And he sometimes even starved in order to create the 800 paintings that he left. And today his works are priceless. Try finding a painting for less than, $10 million or so. It's amazing. Dr. Seuss, his first book, and that's a funny thing. In his lifetime, Van Gogh never sold a painting. He sold one. He basically gave it away to his friend. How about Dr. Seuss? It's so cute. My daughter Grace, who's 7 years old, she's reading all the Dr. Seuss books now. I just love it. Dr. Seuss' first book was rejected by 27 publishers. At that time when he wrote that, there might have been only 30 publishers in the whole damn world. All right, so think about that, okay? And I think he became a successful, children's book publisher, writer. Henry Ford, his first auto company went out of business. He abandoned a second one because of a big fight he had, and a third one went downhill because of declining sales. He went on to be what? One of the greatest American entrepreneurs ever. Did you hear what I said, though? He failed 3 times, basically bankrupt 3 times. Think about that. Here's one that's really amazing. While developing his vacuum, the vacuum cleaner, Sir James Dyson went through 5,000 126 failed prototypes, and his savings over 15 years. You get that? Over 5,100 prototypes, went through all his savings until he invented that bagless vacuum cleaner. It's yellow. It's expensive. It's like $400 or so. And now he's got a fan, all kinds of products. But think about that, folks. Failed his way to success 5,100 times. You know, how about J.K. Rowling? Was unemployed, divorced, raising a daughter, on welfare while writing the first Harry Potter novel. Now she's internationally renowned for her 7-book Harry Potter series, and she is the first person to become a billionaire from writing. And I don't think they started out thinking that way. I'm going to be a billionaire. She just did what was in her heart. No different than Stephen King. Was initially so frustrated with his first novel, Carrie, remember Carrie, that he threw it in his trash. His wife found the manuscript, pulled it out of the trash. She went and resubmitted it, and this time it got approved. Next thing you know, 49 novels and 350 million copies later, there you go. Stephen King and Carrie. Well, folks, that's the point. The point is, whatever you were expecting out of this segment tonight of how to fail your way to success, there is no way. The only way is to fail and learn. Fail and learn. Obstacle and learn. You just move forward. Of course, you measure, you learn what worked, you learn what doesn't do, but you don't give up. And that's why when people say, you know, if you do what you love, you'll never work the rest of the day, rest of your life, another day, the rest of your life. Well, it is true, and it's not. A lot of us have passions and things that we want to do, but we can't just stop making a living. We've got families to support and things of that nature. However, if it's something in your core, as I've always said, if you can think a thing, then you can achieve that thing. And what I mean by that is, it wouldn't be in your heart. It wouldn't be in your soul if you couldn't do it. So if it's gnawing at you, then it is an extension of you. And it's something that you should move towards. So if it's something that you enjoy doing and you're good at and you're getting better at, then you continue to work at it. Fail, grow. 2 steps up, 1 step back. 3 steps up, 2 steps back. And it's over, and it's repetition. And then all of a sudden you're a 25-year success. And you know, a lot of people that are younger to do it, a lot of people that are older. I was looking today, doing some research in the investment world and looking at some of the Fortune 500 companies that are the largest companies in the world, and all the CEOs and the vice presidents and the people who have risen after working in the company for 25, 30, 40 years. You know, most of these folks are between the ages of 55 and 70, and they're right in this sweet spot of your life. So you have to put things in perspective. Folks, you're tuned to the How to Use Your Life show. It's 22 after the hour. I'm Joe Fermano. We're here every Tuesday night, WNJC1360am and www.WNJC1360.com. Okay, I've been promising to talk about, just briefly, because I'm not going to say a battle with my wife, but we always go over this stuff, and we've both gotten a lot better with it. But having 3 kids, I always worry so much about what we're going to eat and what we're going to drink and what we're putting in our kids. And the more research you do, folks, the scarier it is. The more research you do, the more studies there are that half the stuff that ails us comes from what we put inside us. I mean, many moons ago, when I was involved in extreme, working out and bodybuilding and competing, I remember a fellow who was very successful, was actually a doctor, an MD. He said to me, Joe, 80% of what you do is what you put in your mouth. 20%, right, is the exercise itself. And today, it's tough to get away from it. You know, our parents, when I say our parents, that greatest generation, those folks today that are in their 70s and 80s and 90s, you know, they may have eaten a lot of meat and eggs and this and that, but that was the real homegrown, what would you call, organic food without all the chemicals and so on and so forth. And today it's tough to get around that. It's hard to do that, and it seems like you've got to pay a premium just to eat what God has given to us or planted. But here are, from a recent study out of the Mayo Clinic, 5 foods never to eat. And I'm not going to get deep in it. I'm just going to run right through it. Eliminate these 5 foods and you eliminate fat. End of story. Like they pretty much guarantee you lose weight immediately. And what it is the right carbs with the right proteins bury fat, build muscle, and keep you happy. Okay? Number 1 on the list is concentrated orange juice, cranberry, and apple juice. They just said that these concentrated juices are like what happens to bread when bread is white and they strip all the nutrients. Well, it strips all the fiber from it, and they put in excess sugar, which helps us to what? Gain weight. So the study basically said, number 1 on the list, say no to the concentrated juices. Number 2 on the 5 foods never ever to eat, margarine. Not butter, margarine has trans fats that they suck the protein out, and they can just completely hurt you as far as cholesterol is concerned. It causes cardiovascular disease. It wipes out your good cholesterol, and what happens is it's so good, but butter is so much better because butter, better than margarine, is more natural. So if you're going to use those things, use, olive oil is better than anything, but it's better just to go with the butter. Margarine, again, on the number 2 of the top 5 things not to eat. Number 3, this surprised me, whole wheat bread. You think, hey, whole wheat bread. Well, they also list whole wheat bread, pastas, quote unquote comfort foods, high carb foods, apple pie, pizza, all the stuff we love. But anything else, if you're going to have a day to cheat or moderation, if it's Saturday or Sunday, one day a week, the rest of the week you're good, you know what? Your body's going to reject it anyway. You'll have that slice of pizza, or you'll eat something that's not good, and your body you'll be like, whoa, what's that? You're shocking my system. These are high carbs. Okay, low carbs are better for you that are natural, like vegetables, veggies, and fruits. So you want to use a balance. But here's what they say. Choose whole grain bread instead of wheat bread. And it took me forever to get my family from white bread to whole wheat bread. But you know what? The whole grain breads, they're actually pretty good. They taste so the whole wheat bread, the pastas, again, they're processed foods. Number 4, soy. Yeah, soy milk, tofu. I'm like, really? Tofu is processed soy. I didn't know that. I was like, hey, eat soy, you're rolling, right? No, the processing of soy is highly processed, and basically 91% of soy in the U.S. is highly processed, stripping it of the nutrients that the real soy has, which is links to malnutrition. You're eating it, but you're not helping yourself. So processed food like these can throw your body way out of balance. And finally, I think we all know this, corn products, corn syrup. Yeah, I know you do. The GM stuff, genetically modified, corn puffs, coated oats, honey oats, any of that stuff, fructose, corn syrup, high fructose, all that stuff that you're drinking in the sodas that say, oh, they don't give you any calories, sugar, that's processed stuff that just gets inside your system and eats it away. And why do I do this? Why on the How to Use Your Life show every Tuesday night do I try to throw in a little health segment? Because I absolutely, let's put it this way. He was a little extreme. I just finished reading, and I didn't want to put it down. It was almost 600 pages. The autobiography by Walter Isaacson on Steve Jobs. The reason why he was a vegan, as I always say, a vegan, he ate vegetables. He didn't like to eat meat. The reason why he ate all like real healthy foods and was usually healthy and thin, nothing like he got when he contracted pancreatic cancer. But he said the reason why he did that is because when he ate, he didn't want food, his digestion to take too much, his digestive process to take too much time away from his thinking, his visualizing, and his ideas. He said because when he would eat a hearty meal of food that was maybe too many carbs or not that good, he said he'd be so tired afterwards, it would just drain him that he couldn't work right. Think about what he's saying. And that's one of the reasons why I bring up the health segment, folks, because to me, you can persevere, which, by the way, we'll talk about Matthew perseverance next week, of course. But you can persevere, you can fail your way to success, but if you're not healthy or trying to be healthy, if you don't change your oil, change your belts, balance your tires, rotate your tires, keep your chassis clean, and do all the things that you should be doing, what good is any of it? You could have a great brain, meaning, let's say, an engine, analogous for a car, but if you're putting sand in it, how well is it going to run? I like that. We'll leave it at that for this evening. Folks, thanks so much for tuning into the How to Use Your Life show. You'll see me on Facebook. You'll hear me on Facebook. You'll see me and hear me and be all over the place on YouTube. Go to my website, Joe Fermano. Karen, welcome back from Disney World. You missed so much here while you were gone. We missed you. We missed you. So, and thank you all for tuning in tonight. I'm Joe Fermano saying good night, good attitudes. God bless America.
Oh, beautiful, far heroes prove